morning to all. Let us start today's topic. Work of water and work of waves and work of that glaciers. So these are all we discussed today. Okay? You already learnt V-shaped valleys. How the V-shaped valleys are formed. V-shaped valleys are formed by the work of river. You know that story. River. Beginning of the work of river, beginning, it's very fast. From the mountains and slopes, and at the same time it increases speed, and at the same time it cuts the vertically the mountain or the hard rock and formed as a V-shaped valleys or developed as a V-shaped valleys. Understand? If you see that V-shaped valleys, narrow at the bottom and wide at the top. Look at these pictures. You know, right? Similarly, today we will discuss about another topic, gorges. How the gorges are formed. Here it is gorges and canyons. Gorges and canyons. Some differences there, small differences there. If you see that gorge, how it is, and what is that gorge? Where the rocks are very hard, the river cuts a very narrow valley. The sides are so steep. It's called as gorge. If you see that gorge, bottom and top both are same only, same, equal length and equal width. Understand this? You can see this number of gorges there. Example, in Andhra Pradesh, Bison Gorge in Andhra Pradesh region, and Indus Gorge also there, Indus Gorge. Understand this? Here it is, and the structure, it is canyon. A wide, steep, walled and usually flat bottomed valley. Understand? Canyon means a wide, steep, walled and usually flat bottomed valley is called canyon. So, do you know that difference between gorge and canyon? A gorge is almost equal in width as its top as well as its bottom. Similarly, canyon is wider at top than at the bottom. Here it is, some important canyons are there. Grand Canyon, you know that Grand Canyon. What is that? It's called biggest canyon. So Grand Canyon, it is located in River Colorado in North America region. It is very famous. In Arizona state. The Grand Canyon in the world is on the river of Colorado. What is the length and what is the width of that? The Grand Canyon is 466 kilometers in length and width is 188 meters to 29 kilometers. And what is the depth of that? Grand Canyon is 1.6 kilometers depth. Understand? Right. Here another important one, it is waterfall and plunk pool. Waterfall and plunk pool. What is that waterfall? You can see that in everywhere you can see that waterfall there, number of waterfalls. The water flowing from the height or mountains. You know which is the highest waterfall in the world? Do you know that? Yes. Angel waterfall, the highest waterfall in the world. What is the height of that? 979 meters. And which river? Churan. The river is Churan. Where it is located, that highest waterfall in the world? Located in Venezuela. Venezuela in South America. What is the second highest waterfall in the world? It is Tugela. Tugela Falls. Where it is there? It is also in South Africa. It is in South Africa. What is the height of that? 947 meters. So do you know that what is the highest waterfall in India? Which one it is? Jog Falls. Jog Falls in India. Jog waterfalls in India. Very famous. It is located in Karnataka, which is located on the river of Sharavati in Karnataka. What is the height of that? 253 meters. Jog waterfall, also called as Jurasappa waterfall. Some important waterfalls and location. Kailasakona waterfalls in Chittoor district. Kuntala waterfalls in Adilabad district near Nirmal. Pochera falls in Adilabad district. Ittipotla falls in Guntur district near Nagarjuna Sagar. Kapila Tirtham is located in Chittoor district. Talakona waterfalls in Chittoor near Tirupati. Mallela Tirtham, it is in Kurnool district near Srisailam. Akasa Ganga waterfalls in Chittoor district near Tirumala. Anantagiri waterfalls, Visakhapatnam district near Aruku Valley. Katiki waterfalls in Visakhapatnam district near Borra Caves. Now, discuss about another one, floodplain. In that floodplain, how the floodplain was formed and how it is before flood and during flood and after the flood. Okay? Floodplain means, you know that plains, how the plains are formed. Plains are formed by the work of water or work of river water. Understand, it is where the river enter the plain, the slope is gentle and the river also slow down. At the time, river does not carry any sedimentaries or any rocks or any kind of material along with the river. At the same time, it deposited in a one place. That sediments or rocks or other kind of materials, sand, everything deposit in that one place. Layer by layer, it constructed layer by layer, and finally one fertile land was formed. Fertile land is formed in it. So this is, you can see that different kinds of plains are there in India. Very important plains in India, northern plains. Northern plains. So these northern plains are formed by the three important rivers. What are the three important rivers? Mostly Himalayan rivers. Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. So these three rivers are brought some of the sediments and rocks and everything, and make them to fertile. And some of the rivers which are flowing from the south also, from the south. South means peninsular rivers. Some of the peninsular rivers also brought some of the materials to form the, okay. So in India, that northern plains are very important. Okay, and next, and some of the important plains also there in India. Understand? Here it is, some important plains. Ganga plain, Krishna and Godavari plains. So these were very fertile because you know what is that flood plain? Flood plain means what? Nothing but plain only. Understand? A layer of a sediment is thus deposited here during each flood, gradually building up a fertile floodplain. Before flood, how the floodplain is there? You observe this picture. Water level is decreased. Understand? So during that flood situation time, the flood water comes again. The river bed may have become too high. As a result of this deposition, then it changes its course and cuts the new path. This results in the river constantly changing its course. Course means the ways in a plain. In its floodplain, the river often forms meanders. What is that meanders? Meanders means gentle turns like a snake-like structure. Due to this deposition, along the sides of the meanders, the ends of meander loops comes closer and closer. In due to the course of time, the meanders loop cuts off from the river and forms a cut-off lake, means separate lake, which is appears like a oxbow. Oxbow means eddu adugu అని చెప్తాం, which is called Oxbow Lake. Look at this picture, you can understand. Understood? Do you know about delta? How it's formed? Deltas are formed by the rivers only. When a river reaches the sea, means the ending stage of the river, all the rivers are finally joined in the oceans. Understand? The fine material which has dropped or deposited at the mouth of forming a delta. Mouth means that forming of the delta place. Understand? Look at this picture. The word delta is originated from the Greek alphabet delta. Understand? Do you know that largest delta in the world and where it is located? The largest delta in the world is Sundarbans Delta. It is located in India and Bangladesh area. It is formed at the mouth of the river Ganga and Brahmaputra. The river Krishna and Godavari together make two large deltas in Andhra Pradesh region. You can observe in India map. Understand? Right. So now we'll discuss about work of glaciers and work of waves and work of wind and sand dunes. Work of glaciers. Glaciers means what? What is the structure of glaciers? The shape of the glaciers U. English letter U. Already you know that V-shaped valleys are formed by rivers and U-shaped valleys are formed by the glaciers. Mostly very cold regions like Himalayas or Alps in Europe, it snows heavily. In that places, snow is heavily only. They get snowfall instead of rainfall. In that places, instead of rainfall, mostly it get only snowfall only. Understand? This snow accumulated and hardens into the ice, and finally the accumulation of ice flows slowly down till it reaches warm area where the ice melts and a smaller river starts in the place. Understand? This is how the river Ganga is formed from Gangotri glacier in the Himalayas. Similarly, this kind of only. Slow, what is that glacier? What is the definition? Slow moving of mass ice means river of ice is called as glaciers. Understand? The movement of glacier is very slow, unlike water flow. The movement would be a very few centimeters a day or even less or more. Glaciers move basically because of the force of gravity. Okay? A glacier erodes through a process called plucking. Plucking means push, which it lifts the pieces of rock and transport them. These pieces of rock and the moving ice together act like a sandpaper. You know, carpenter using this sandpaper, like that sandpaper on the surface of the rock over the which the flow. Just a sandpaper removes small particles of the wood. The glacier acts as an abrasive and erodes the bedrock. Through this dual process, means abrasive and erodes. The dual process of the plucking and abrasion, glaciers creates a U-shaped valleys. Understood? When the glaciers melts and becomes water, it does not have any energy or force to carry the large rocks. The glaciers brings with it small pebbles and cobbles or sand, etc. All this called as debris. The debris is known as a till. Understand? The till acquired by the glacier from mountainous slopes and side valleys and floors. This debris or the till, which cannot be carried by a glacier, is deposited at the various parts of the glacier. This deposition of till means debris is called moraines. Understand? Debris means it includes that all kinds of materials like pebbles, cobbles, sand. These are all materials. It's nothing but till. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for watching. మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి అండ్ ఫైనల్లీ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ది బెల్ ఐకాన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.